What's going on, everybody? This is a segment from the Nerdgasm Talk podcast. If you like podcasts, well, why don't you come join us as the crew gets silly and Philly while we sit to talk about the latest in comics, games, movies, and all things pop culture. You guys can listen to our whole show on all the podcasts apps. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you guys get your podcasts from. And make sure you guys also support the channel by subscribing to the Nerd Coalition Studios. And for the gaming needs, make sure you subscribe to Nerd Coalition Level Up. This is the Nerd Coalition. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And now, feel the nerd. Let's get on into it right now because me and Primetime, we was talking about this and it finally came out. A movie, and actually I could call it a highly anticipated movie for the MCU coming out here in November. A relatively late one because Marvel doesn't really do the late movies like that. But it is a team-up sort of movie with all of the versions of Captain Marvel, and which is the Marvels. So, we got Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and of course Monica Rambeau in the movie. And this was a movie that I honestly was like, this looks better than the first one because I wasn't a big fan of Captain Marvel, and at some points this was called Captain Marvel 2, but then they changed it to the Marvels. So I was, a little on the fence about it, but I was just like, okay, because I wasn't too pleased with the first Captain Marvel. Prime, how did you feel about the first Captain Marvel and going into this? How'd you feel about it?
It was not good.
I say, okay, you talking the first Captain Marvel, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
not good.
It had problems. So going into this one, how did you feel? Or was you excited for it?
No, I wasn't excited. Well, if it wasn't the Marvels and it was Captain Marvel 2, then no, I would not be excited. But since they added Kamala and Monica,
yeah,
then I was like, okay, well, they have more personalities than just the Brie Larson with no personality.
The Marvels finally get the team up, but then there's something weird about them. With her trying to use his power to restore her Kree race, now the Marvel's powers, and every time they use them at the same time, they end up switching places. So it was actually kind of like, I'm kind of curious about this. So we're going to talk about the things that we liked about it, things we didn't like about it, and then, our review, and then we're going to get into spoilers, because there's no way that we cannot talk about this without any kind of spoiler stuff like that. So, starting off with the good here. To be honest with you, I enjoyed Brie Larson in this movie more than I did the first one. Would you agree with me on that one or no?
No, she did have better personality in this one than the first one and the other movie. So yeah.
So see, because I think, because first of all, Brie Larson is an Academy Award winning actress, so I'm not saying
that don't mean you gotta have personality.
Fair enough, but I also think it was a lot to do with the
writing. Who watched those movies?
I also think for the first Captain Marvel, it had a lot to do with the writing. So I was like, okay, well, sure. Then I thought she was good, and then Tiana Parrish. I mean, come on now. I'm a fan of Tiana Parrish. I think you may be a fan of Tiana Parrish, and I think she was really good in the movie as well. Also, because I was like, okay, because we got to see her in WandaVision. We got to see the origin story of Monica Rambeau as she has gotten older, because she was a little Ashley from Bel Air. She was in that first Captain Marvel as a little girl, and now she has grown up. And then forgive me, I'll make sure I get this name right. Iman Vellani, who played Kamala Khan.
I think so. I don't know for sure. That's the name, but yeah.
Who played Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, which I thought she was like the heart of this movie. Also, I think her, because they brought Miss Marvel and the whole show to this movie. It's kind of like Miss Marvel the movie, right? We've seen the TV show, and if you guys seen the TV show, and like I said, Miss Marvel wasn't my favorite, but I did like it, but it wasn't my favorite. But they still brought that into this movie with her family because I thought they was all funny. They were the comic relief along with Nick Fury. Nick Fury was more of a comic relief in this movie than I thought he was going to be. Yeah, I thought he was it had good comic relief. I thought those were positive. So when we finally got the news that they were going to be switching power stuff like that, I was really like, they got potential to do this because we can get some cool stuff with them trying to figure out and how that every time they use their powers that it's going to be they're going to be switching into other people's places. And I thought it was pretty good. The way that they handled it, of course, you're going to get the montage of them trying to study how to use their powers and things like that. I thought that that concept was actually was done. I'm not going to say perfect. There was other things that I felt as though that could have helped that thing out, but I thought overall, I thought it was a decent experience that I did enjoy. Would you agree that like when it came to the way they were using the powers and illustrating it, how did you feel about that?
Man, it could have been a little better overall, but it was cool. Like, it was cool. It was still fun.
Some of the fight scenes I thought was actually pretty cool of the way that they was tag teaming. Some of them. I didn't say all of them. I said some of them.
Some of them.
Some of them.
And some of them were completely stupid. So.
I'm telling you right now, you just probably looking like, hey, we just trying to get into the bullshit, huh?
I'm just, yeah, my bad. You're right. Yeah, they're good. Okay.
Well, with all that being said, was there anything else good that you wanted to add to this? Like I said, we're going to get to spoilers. Don't worry. I'm just trying to get the non-spoilers.
Tiana Parrish.
Yeah, I was saying her earlier because, we already know. Yeah, so Tiana Parrish in there, I was just like, yeah. Oh, yeah, especially when he went to that singing place. I was just like, you wear it, girl. So, I think you know what I'm talking about, Brian.
Yes, Tiana Parrish.
Yes, I really liked her. I didn't know how I was like, the transition, because from her in WandaVision and her into here now, I'm just like, all right, how's it going to be? And I'm like, okay, I can get with this. I actually want to see more of her. So then,
and acting too.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we just seen her in one of my best movies of 2023 already. They cloned Tyrone. So, have you seen that, right?
No, not yet.
Oh my, bruh, see that movie. All right, so now let's get into some of the things that we didn't like. And on the Mac, I'm gonna jump off, and I feel as though that this is the shortest Marvel movie you're gonna see. The shortest.
That's not the bad.
Huh?
That's not the bad.
For me, I felt as though it needed to be longer.
I mean, yeah, but it was short for a reason.
What's the reason?
It was bad. I mean, I sugarcoated it. It was fun stuff, but it still was bad.
Man, no, look, I felt like, because, like, maybe I haven't looked at the ins and outs of everything like that, but I feel as though that.
So you tell me it's gonna miraculously be a better movie because they added 10 minutes?
No, no. I'm saying, look, an average movie most of the time is about 2 hours, right? An average Marvel movie, like if you go through the whole MCU and you average up the run times, you're going to get about 2 hours and 10 minutes, maybe 2:15, right? This movie clocks in. I'm talking about clocks in, because I inadvertently timed it. We went to the theater. Our show was at 7:00. We had a half an hour of previews. A half an hour. At 7:29, the lights dim, and that's when we got into the movie. I already have an alarm set off. Usually, when I used to work on Saturdays at nighttime, that goes off at 9:00. When that alarm went off, we was getting into the credits. That's 90 minutes of movie. And I'm sitting thinking like, whoa, because there were certain things in the movie that was moving kind of quickly when it came to pacing, and I said, wait a minute, we gotta flush this whole thing out. And I think we could have made some good character points by flushing these things out. And with it just being 90 minutes, I was like, they just got straight to the shit and got what we here for. And I was like, but there's more. I'm not saying this movie got to be 2 hours and 15 minutes. No, but I'm just saying, but you can still make this an hour and 50 minutes. Give us 20 more minutes, or even give us another half hour to make it a clear 2-hour movie. Because there were some things I felt as though it wasn't fleshed out too well. Now, do you want me to get into that, or do you want to start getting into some of your bad?
So what do you think about just overall of the CG?
Of how overall how the CG looked in the movie? It could have used a tune-up.
Oh, okay.
Certain things could have used a tune-up, and certain things was what I expected. I'm not saying to say that, man, this is the best CGI I've seen in my life. It's not. I mean, it's a Marvel movie, it's a superhero movie with the budget, so it was like, okay. I mean, when Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, and Monica Rambeau used their powers, it was like, okay, it was cool. I had no problem with it. You know, I mean, like I said, there's some other things that, you know, could have had some problems. But as of right now, I can't sit there and say I pinpointed, and maybe I had to sleep on it. But is there some CGI that you didn't like?
I'm gonna say the post credit scene, definitely.
Okay. I mean, we're talking about that in spoilers, but right now, yeah, there's a post credit scene. There's some CGI that I think Prime is not a big fan of. Now, when I was talking about those plot points, the first thing about the first Miss Marvel movie, the first Captain Marvel movie is, I always said that her friendship with Maria Rambeau, Monica's mom, I was just like, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel the friendship like I thought I should have. So in this movie, she's clearly upset at Carol for leaving them and not coming back. And I felt as though they need to hit on that more. Also,
do they?
Yeah, because I'm sorry, because I'm just like, hey, because then when you do shit like that, and then
I'm sorry, I'm saving the whole multiple universes. I can't come see you every day.
No, bro, stop that. What I'm saying, because here's the thing, you had these dynamics, because then when you do the things that you do at the end of the movie, it means more.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's all about setting up. So even Miss Marvel, who's such a fan of Carol Danvers, right? And you know the saying, "Don't ever meet your heroes," right? Mm-hmm. They had a scene, and then they just walked right past it afterward. I was like, did they kind of like build it back together? Like, okay, we kind of put a bow on this shore, but it wasn't a tight bow. And honestly, I want to see the dynamic where Monica, like, that's my aunt, right? That's my auntie, okay? And she's been gone. And then her dynamic with Miss Marvel of, you know, trying, you know, being like positive, hey, I'm Miss Marvel, I'm trying to be the one that you looked up to. Just it kind of could show her how she felt when she was a little girl, and there could have been some kind of jealousy there. That kind of stuff can happen. That all shit happens in the movie all the time to help build up some conflict, some drama. There was really no conflict, really no drama, really nothing that could have help kind of fracture the team to the point where we got to get back on track. To say right there, everything just kind of like just came together. Like, hurry up, this is it. All right, we cool, bam. It's like there's tension, but then, you know, I'll get over it type thing. When you're dealing with a team full of multiple personalities, and it's just like we just came together like this, it don't ever, you know, you don't really believe in the team. I felt as though it was disappointing. I'm not gonna call it all out bad, but I felt as though it was disappointing. I'm not gonna spoil it, but the post credit scene, we get one mid credit scene. There's no post credit scene. There's one mid credit scene that we get. I think it's a very powerful scene, which is really, we got two. One is already in the movie, but then there's one that's really set up the MCU going into Secret Wars and all that other kind of stuff, which I think is also very powerful. But overall, I felt as though that what the movie gave us, I thought it was fun in some parts. I felt as though that, you know, it had entertaining some parts. I think the actresses that they got in here they helped carry the movie a lot. And I know how people feel about the first Captain Marvel movie and you know, how they didn't like the whole feminist thing or things like that. You don't really get that much in this movie, but you do get you know, I like the team. But it got plenty of problems on there, at least for me. But I liked it in a way. I liked it better than the first one. So overall, when it comes to the Marvels, I'm giving this a hashtag give it a chance. So it's 90 minutes. It's literally 90 minutes. So if you got time to go out there and see it, go ahead. If you don't, you know, I understand if you want to wait till it come out on Disney Plus. I understand all that. Trust me, I do. So, but that's our review for the Marvels. Right now, if you guys, the video version is going to end now, but then we're about to go into some spoilers here of how we felt about the movie, stuff like that. So, if you guys don't want any spoilers right now, you guys can skip ahead. But right now, we're going to talk about some spoilers.